This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello everybody, welcome to show 296. This little voiceover is because I had a microphone, we both had no audio right at the beginning, so please excuse us. Garth is with us tonight, Zarn's off with a backache, so please enjoy the rest of the show and sorry for the poor start. Thank you. That's better. Now I'm getting movement there as well. So what I'll do...
Sorry?
We'll keep rocking on because I know
let's just
the other part was right. Garth's here. That's the most important thing.
That's it.
And Zarn's hurt his back. And the other little challenges I've got, because I've been slack and haven't got the show notes organised this week, I'm picking the stories up as we go along.
That's perfect.
We're right on it.
Given I've had nothing to do with the world outside of my own issue lately, I have no idea what's going on in Apple land.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me.
Oh, I've got plenty to tell you. Yeah. So what about we'll start with, there was a secret photo sent out during the week of Apple's iPhone 11R taken by some spy. But the interesting point, it was when they were taking a photo of a Galaxy Note 10 and you got the reflection of the 11R in the Galaxy Note 10, which is a weird way of seeing it. That's the way they reckon that. So they figure it was probably coming from some telco because they've got to do tests before they're released officially. But they think the photos were taken by telcos. But yeah, they reckon it's a iPhone 11R in the reflection of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus.
Hang on. iPhone 10R, surely.
No, 11R. Because it's got the square camera.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Very... Okay.
Yeah, that's the way they're figuring it's the 11R because they've got a square cut out for the camera.
Yep.
So, yeah, interesting way of finding it. People have so much time to spend to look at the little things, don't they?
Yeah. It seems sort of Knight Rider-ish where, someone would say clarify or some stupid...
Yes. But
yes.
So we got two sneaky photos in one.
Yes.
So that was the first bit of funny news. Now, what's this next page? Does it come up in the right place? Yes, it does. And if I just go into... I've just got a Guardian story here next. Do I want to take the survey? No, I don't. Do I get a choice? Not by the looks of things. Do that. Now, Facebook says it was not our role to remove fake news during Australian election.
No, well.
Yeah, Facebook executive Simon Milner says company only removes content that violates our community standards. Facebook has declared it is not our role to remove content that one side of a political debate considers to be false in a final positive self-assessment of its actions in response to the death tax misinformation circulating on the platform during the May federal election. So, if it was on a real newspaper, would they have to have given an apology, or would they have had to have said that's not real news the next day? And I don't know the finer details of that question, but
No, but yeah, this is it always comes up, doesn't it, with Facebook and with any of these platforms that are basically there to sort of, host user content. But then they start to get into the realm of, why are all these strange noises happening?
Oh, I had a there was some siren going on outside, and then the dog barking because of the siren, and now I was just writing something down. I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, it wasn't you.
At your end.
Sorry.
It's all,
sorry, everybody.
It's all happening.
Shut it up. I don't even know, Michael. This is the most dreadfully ill-prepared response that I'm midway through here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Either Facebook need to just make it really clear. Like, I don't know. No, I've got nothing to say.
Yeah, I know. It's really hard because who determines it's fake news?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
And
Who
what
determines it's fake
responsibility
news?
does that
Yeah.
have?
So who's the responsibility to then?
No.
The next one is something hopefully a little bit better. Can I come back over to here? And because what's happening is because you haven't got a camera, I'm putting the web pages up on your where your face would normally be. So here's an Australian one. Commonwealth Bank app 4.0 boasts location-based tracking and tax return notifications. The Commonwealth Bank of Australia has launched its new banking app, an upgrade to the platform that was first released in 2013. The new app is touted by the bank as offering greater personalisation tailored specifically to the individual needs of each customer, with personal cash flow management and smart alerts all aimed at keeping more money in customers' wallets. Speaking with media at the launch of CommBank App 4, CBA Chief Digital Officer Pete Steele said the app update comes after the bank decided it could bring all of its technology and digital capability in data and artificial intelligence to really solve problems for customers. So the bank boasts that 7 million customers are active on digital channels, a staggering amount, Still said, when it converts to bring about a third of the adult population in Australia. And he also said 5.6 million people have been actively using the 3.0 mobile app. So there you go. A new app for Australians with more information. Hopefully be similar to Apple's card app that's coming, where it says, oh, you need to pay your money now to avoid any interest and that sort of thing, which is really what they've got to do, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
it's not hard.
No. And I know with what's it? American Express, get lots of notice there, and can reschedule their payment ahead of time really nicely, and the Amex app works quite well and ensures that you aren't late if you don't want to be.
Yeah.
And I think
most people don't intentionally be late.
No.
Realistically.
Yeah.
I think. But yes, so that's good. Good on CommBank for doing some more. Now the next story, what do we pick? This one. Sorry, just while it boots up. Here we go. Yeah. IP Australia moving to undo legacy apron strings and operate around the clock. So after digitising most of its back end, the Patent Office is on to the next phase of its digital transformation journey. Intellectual Property Australia may have already digitised most of its back system, but the hard work is only about to begin as the federal government agency prepares to decouple its legacy channel services. We are really transforming into that digital business model and moving to a much more modern way of thinking, and we're using APIs to provide a single channel which multi-user interfaces and services can sit on top of, IP Chief Digital Officer Damien Guthrie said. The move to decouple its existing infrastructure, according to Guthrie, will mean IP Australia can enable customers to easily integrate business models such as software as a service, case management, blockchain systems, analytics, while also giving more structure and data that flows in. Flows in and out of the systems. There will also be opportunities for third parties to create new tools by combining IP Australia APIs with other APIs to enable easy registration of business names, domain names, and trademarks. We have lots of small businesses who work during the day and transact outside our business hours. We also have lots of global business who expect to transact with us. Our customers expect us to be 24/7, but realistically, we don't have the scale to guarantee uptime that customers expect, he said. As part of the process, the Patent Office has engaged with customers to receive direct feedback on how and what to develop for its API program. The agency has hosted approximately 40 workshops over 6 months and continues to host webinars every 6 weeks with customers. So, yeah, I actually hadn't heard of this till I'd read it. I'm just, I do have a registered ABM, so why haven't I been told, I'm wondering?
That they, well, what would you be told though? I guess, it's probably not going to change anything about how you're going to interact with them yourself initially.
Yep.
So they're setting up the back end infrastructure by the sounds of it, so that companies who want to integrate and provide those sort of services, like the sponsor that we guys had on for a while there,
Yep.
Let me set everything up for you. Is that what sort of? Am I reading that right? Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, I think it's an ongoing thing where they've just started, so it'll be a while before we can get everything up and rolling properly on their end. Yeah.
Yeah.
But being a single little sole trader with an ABN, it's probably not enough for them to give me enough information, and figure I don't really want to get in touch with their API at the moment anyway.
No, well, what would you be doing with that? I don't know. I think it would be more for somebody who wants to facilitate the setting up of businesses or checking of registration or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. And for like they say, it's for people over around the world too. So just making sure the website up's half the battle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, tonight, because we are fortunate enough to have young Garth on, I just want to remind everybody about audio.pizza on iTunes. Have you done anything with audio.pizza lately, or we got other things happening? What's the go?
Episode of Tarts is up. Well, the audio roundtable.
Yeah,
came out just a week or so ago, maybe less, very recently. And another one in the bag, and
good. And how does that work? Your audio roundtable? How does that work?
Okay, so it's me and 3 professionals who make their living with audio. So there's a voice actor, a mix engineer, and a musician from the US, UK, and Australia. The musician's from Australia. Matt McLaren. He was on second place on The Voice a long time ago. Anyway,
that's cool.
And it's actually something I'm really, really pleased with how it's going. It's funny. There's a good chemistry. You can follow it through from episode 1, and there's sort of accountability. It's about in the latest episode, for example, they've with another guy set up what we're calling work and lurk. So there's somebody who's a sole trader, somebody who's working out of their home studio or doing something like that. It's really easy to procrastinate and not get done what you need to get done. Right?
Absolutely. So
it's about scheduling. It's like making it a virtual hub. Scheduling, okay, from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we're going to come, or 10 till 12, whatever. We're going to meet on Zoom or some other platform, have a chat, like a coffee before work. Okay, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? Go away, do it for an hour, check in. Hey, so how you going? The sort of virtual accountability.
Yeah.
And I've had quite a bit of feedback just in the last little week or so, saying people, we'd love to get in on this because it, or we do this already.
Yeah.
This really makes a difference.
It's the virtual accountability is the bit, isn't it? Accountability is the bit. Yes.
to show up and know you've got someone going who's going to ask you how
Yeah.
you went. So
Yes.
you get distracted by Twitter for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or Facebook or whatever. You actually got in and got done what you were supposed to get done.
Yeah.
So that was the sort of a topic in the most recent episode.
And it is hard when you're on your own, especially when you're on your own. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
one of the podcasts I listen to is Focused.
Okay.
And they were interviewing a guy this week, and he's basically got everything off his phone. He's got no Twitter, no email, no Amazon, no YouTube. Like, just the minimal thing he absolutely needs. Like, may have his bank. He didn't say what he had on there, but he got rid of everything else.
Yep.
Just so he didn't pick it up and get distracted. He also does things like puts his devices in a cupboard and puts them on charge. So when you get up in the morning, you go, okay, got to get it out of the cupboard. So it's 2 steps instead of 1 to start using your phone, things like that, which is an extreme way of doing it, but
it is. But, just to scale that back again a little bit and still be quite effective, it's simple as, well, I'm not going to leave my phone on the desk beside me. I'm going to go and put it over there on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Where I actually have to get up and go and get it if I want to look at it.
Yeah.
I can still receive a phone call on it because, I'll hear it and I'll go and get it. But
yes.
I'm not going to just pick it up and start looking at Facebook or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you pick it up to check the spelling of a word, and then
exactly.
half an hour later, oh, there's a message. I bet one of the blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And the other thing is try and focus when you're in the zone. Like, am I going to be in the zone in the morning, or am I going to be in the zone in the afternoon? Little things like that.
Different people definitely have different times of day when they are most efficient or productive. Yeah,
absolutely. So the next story, I'll just remind people that because my mate Garth hasn't got a phone, hasn't got a camera tonight, I'm putting the news stories up, and that's why you're not seeing very much of me, because I'm showing the news stories just so people get an idea of what's going on as well. So, Apple Pay transaction volume and new user growth outpacing PayPal, Tim Cook says. Apple was once a notable topic of discussion over... Apple Pay was once a notable discussion over Apple's Q3 earnings this afternoon, helping Apple reach an all-time revenue record for its services. On the call, Tim Cook said that Apple Pay is gaining fast on PayPal, both in users and transactions. Apple said in its earnings announcement that Apple Pay is now completing nearly 1 billion transactions per month. That's nearly double the number of transactions Apple reported in the year-ago quarter. And I'm using it more often. A lot more Australian banks have got it now.
Yeah.
Like we said, NAB and CommBank won't be long. Westpac will have it. So they're all folding. Come over.
Time now too.
Yep.
Yeah. And Suncorp, who I bank with, also have had Apple Pay for a good while now.
Yep.
How annoying is it though that you go into iMessages and the whole send money through Apple Pay thing is there, even though you can't.
You can't. I know. It'll get there eventually.
Yeah. But for a long time when that was available, they didn't have it in our interface. They at least did us the credit of not showing it to us, not teasing us with it. But,
And are you still using iOS 12 on that device?
Yeah, I haven't put the beta on yet, but I'm considering it shortly. But it is my only phone, so.
Yes, that's right. And it does use a lot of battery still, so.
Okay, I might just sit where I am. I'm not in that much of a rush at the moment.
Yeah.
Too much else going on.
But yeah, Apple Pay slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What's another story here that's good? Oh yeah, this one. This one cracks me up. Microsoft's latest ad features Surface-loving guy called MacBook. Now, Apple rarely ever pokes fun as opposition directly. Now that the PC ads that we had years ago are done, But the same lesson hasn't been learned by Apple's rivals. So the Microsoft ad, they searched the world and actually found an Australian guy. I'm just waiting for it to come up. His name is Mac, as in Mackenzie, I believe. When's the real one? Sorry, everyone. Yeah, Mackenzie Mac Book from Sydney, Australia. That's the guy's name.
Okay.
And he says MacBook says get a Surface laptop because the product's so good. The ad pits the MacBook Air against Microsoft Surface's Laptop 2, and much like Amazon Apple knocking ads, it touts its supposed superior features over Apple's laptop. In the case, it refers to its speed, greater battery life, and touch screen. Now, to be fair to Microsoft, the laptop is actually pretty sweet machine as a casual laptop for average users. It easily overpowered by a MacBook Pro, but features like the touchscreen display definitely have their appeal. Of course, the big limiting factor for many Mac fans is ultimately going to come down to Windows 10 rather than Mac OS computer. So that turns me off straight away. But however, it's kind of fun to nod back to the classic Mac first PC ads that Apple ran a decade ago now. So yeah, but fancy searching the world just so they can get a guy called MacBook.
It's bizarre.
Now, let's do some more picking on Apple's product line. Well, now we've got an AirDrop floor. So AirDrop is when you want to move something from your Mac to your from your phone to your Mac, for example, from your Mac to your phone. You might have a document or something, but the AirDrop floor makes it possible to gather strangers' phone numbers. A Bluetooth LE security floor could let malicious actors discover people's iPhone numbers using Apple's file sharing AirDrop feature. An attacker wouldn't need to create a phone number database for a specific region. Using a special script, they then could collect information on users who have tried to AirDrop a file. Just having Bluetooth turned on is not the only thing that is needed, and it's not a straightforward thing, but it's because basically Bluetooth LE, which Apple use and Google don't, the Galaxy and Samsungs don't use Bluetooth LE. And with iOS 13 and Mac Catalina, it's going to be more prevalent because it's basically working, it's pinging all the time, saying, here I am. So if you lose your MacBook or lose your phone, lose your iPad, someone can walk past and gets that little bit of information that says, bang, this is around here somewhere. It doesn't actually say where it is, but it comes back and tells me that's now at Parramatta Park or something. And so it's always working as a beacon, and that's why they're able to get certain bits of information that's not encrypted apparently. But now that Apple have been told, they'll probably encrypt it and the problem will go away. But never tell us whether it's gone away or not.
Well, no, assuming they'd tell us it was gone. Release notes, surely.
Well, another story coming up, which was it was the one about what did we have last week? That's right. Apple announced during the week that they've stopped listening to users' Siri queries, which are they had private contractors that were listening, trying to improve the Siri system. There was big news for the same story for the third time in 6 months. It was exactly the same story, just at this time, the paper that reported it came up with and said, people are listening to your sex stories or your crimes, and they used, a couple of things that made people read the story more. So, but it was exactly the same story, because they all do it. Google have said they've stopped people listening to it. I don't want people to stop listening. I want them to maybe employ them as opposed to using contractors, so they've got tougher penalties. But I want to improve Siri. I want it to get better and better and better.
Yeah, ditto. I don't see that this is really a problem. I mean,
it's a necessary evil, shall we say?
It's a necessary evil. Yeah, that's right. But like you say, it'd be better if they were actual Apple employees, so you had a little bit more faith in the in privacy, rather than just outsourcing it.
Yeah. So another story. This is an interesting one here that I've chucked in. I'm just waiting for it to open as well. And now, everyone needs to think about this problem, because I'm sure we've all done it. Now, when CC should have been BCC, when you're sending an email and you want to send it to various people, you got to think about the privacy big time these days. So you should be using BCC, even if it's to 20 friends, because one friend mightn't want another friend to know what their email address is, for example.
Yeah.
Now, how an email gaffe cost one Australian company dearly. It started as a simple oversight, but quickly ended up as a 6-figure mistake. At the heart of the tale is a global real estate company where one marketing email sent an employee to just 300 customers exposed a major gap in the firm's cybersecurity governance. The problem began when the employee mistakenly pasted 300 email addresses in the carbon copy field instead of the blind carbon copy field.
Yeah.
The technological mishap, familiar to almost anyone these days. But when the email was sent, publishing hundreds of addresses to every recipient, the company was notified by one customer and an internal investigation was launched. But when the company's chief information officer was unable to find a company data breach response plan, legal advice from a top-tier Australian law firm had to be sought. While no serious harm eventuated, 6 figures later the company had self-reported to the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner. 8 employees had worked full-time on the matter for a number of weeks, and costly advice had been sought from both lawyers and a well-known global consulting firm. You can argue it was just a mistake, but because the governance platform wasn't correctly in place, everything got out of control and expensive. Very quickly, Mr. Michael Connery, Chief Executive of security research firm Security In Depth. It's just one example of kinds of mistakes that can expose Australian businesses to major data breaches, which currently cost the nation $7.8 billion a year. Even more revealing is that the reported data breaches, which have increased by more than 700% since February last year, 71% are a direct result of human error, as found in the report by Security In Depth. So there you go. One little mistake.
Well, one little mistake and one big mistake of not actually having the governance platform there.
Yes.
Not actually having, we got one of those emails from the school.
Okay.
All the other parents' email addresses in it.
Yeah. Bad.
Yes. Had a word to the teacher and showed them how to use blind.
And explain why.
No idea, that was the problem.
But you think it anyway.
Yep.
Can't pick on them.
No.
Now here's another one, another Australian story. Got plenty of those this week. That's at least a start. That's because nothing happened overseas. CSIRO's Data 61 to find new CEO following Adrian Turner's resignation. Turner is stepping down to set up a new venture after 4 years with Australia's innovation arm. The Commonwealth Scientific and Research Organisation's Data 61 has begun the hunt for the new chief executive. Turner was charged with ensuring Australia does not fall behind in innovation. Under Turner's leadership, Data 61 has established itself as Australia's voice on data science and engineering, working with government and industry on digital and data-driven opportunities, including spatial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, cybersecurity, and open data. Turner has made a significant contribution to CSIRO and Australia in understanding and harnessing the opportunities that digital and data science can deliver, said CSIRO Chief Executive Dr. Larry Marshall. Our relationship will continue beyond Data 61, with CSIRO and Adrian exploring how we can work together on the new venture. Turner has been passionately calling for Australia to lift its innovation game for many years. So, good luck to him. And, maybe that's a job for you, Garth. You're a pretty leader in innovation.
Yeah, right.
You're up there, my friend. I trust you.
Yeah, good.
Another little story is Google Chrome's clever dark mode is coming to macOS, not just in Mojave, but in the Chrome itself. Yeah.
Whenever that sort of support outside of the OS itself, it gets a bit funny, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's great if you stay in Safari or in Chrome, but then if you accidentally switch out,
bang, it's all bright again. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Now, also remember Aussie Tech Heads podcasting with Aussie Tech Radio, which is just non-stop 24/7 podcast, Australian and New Zealand podcasts. Aussie Tech Heads, Aussie Mac Zone, Your Tech Life, Vertical Hold, Two Blokes Talking Tech, Geeks Interrupted, just to name a few of them. There's a Minecraft podcast in there. So yeah, it's Aussie Tech Heads podcasting, Aussie Tech Radio, and just flick it on in the background. You'll learn at least one thing new every week. I promise you that, just by having it playing in the background. Anything else, Garth? Any stories that you've got that you can think about? Nothing at all? Nothing?
What I've got is a couple of Sonus ones sitting outside the table that arrived today.
Wow.
They're needing to be set up. But
all right, well, I'll come and pick them up and set them up at my place. Is that what you mean?
Yes. So, all I've done so far is open one of the boxes, and they come very nicely packaged in some fabric little bag and all recyclable sort of packaging, and interesting little material bag that they come in. And then I'll have to decide, do we go with Alexa or do we go with Google Home? Because you can use either one of those.
As
the speech. Get my Apple Music account signed in, and so looking forward to setting those up, and I'll let you all know how they go.
Yes, yeah. You'll be rocking. Come show 300. You'll be rocking. You'll have it blasting in the background.
Exactly.
What else? I'm just trying to find some. Oh, Apple is finally making it easy to ditch iCloud for Google Drive. Whether you want to use Google Drive or not, that's up to you. I've had some challenges with my iCloud account in the last week.
Okay.
Just with my notes going across all my devices at the same. It used to happen almost instantaneously, and it's just. I think Apple have been getting a lot more web traffic at the moment, maybe to do with iOS 13 and all the submissions where people are giving that this is where we're having problems. And all the updates that are happening at the moment, because we've been getting iOS 12 updates and iOS 13 updates and Mojave updates and Catalina updates. So there's probably a fair bit of network traffic going around at Apple. So maybe that's just slowing them down a bit.
I don't know.
But yeah, instead of happening within a minute, it's taking 20 or 30 minutes sometimes to do. So, but I think it's just, I think it's just network-based traffic, and because there's a few changes going on, obviously with some updates and stuff to do with the iOS 13 that's coming.
Yeah.
But
I think you do see these sort of slowdowns with iCloud like that, intermittently anyway, don't you?
Yeah. And I found out that something to do with the way Dropbox is stored on your Mac. That's why Time Machine has trouble backing it up. So you may need to look at just either make sure that it's being backed up properly like you expect, or onto Time Machine, so that you've got 2 copies. You should always have 2 copies. Just make sure it's there, basically.
Okay.
In case something goes wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's it. We've covered a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of Australian stories in there, like you said.
Yes, it was good for change. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Sorry that I wasn't as organised as I should have been.
And sorry I wasn't organised at all.
The challenges of life.
Lucky to get the computer working the microphone working at all at this point.
Well, you will go on holidays.
Yeah.
Lazy bum. So don't forget, AussieMacZone.com.au, and you can go in there and find the last 6 episodes and the show notes for the last 6 episodes. I did talk to Glenn this week, and he's suggested a way of me reducing the name, instead of having, as I said, AussieMacZone.com.au /Aussie-Mac-Zone-Episode- in this case 296. It'll be AussieMacZone.com.au /AMZ296. So hopefully that'll start happening this week, even though we said we'd have it done for 300. Hopefully it'll be done for 296, just to show how efficient we can be when we try. Spotify, just look up Aussie Mac Zone. I chucked some things up this week on Apple News, but most importantly, don't forget to thank our friends Audio.Pizza on iTunes and Aussie Tech Radio at Aussie Tech Heads Podcasting, Aussie Tech Heads Podcasting, and Audio.Pizza. But most importantly, good night, Garth. Thank you.
Good night, Michael. And since Zarn isn't here,
yep,
an apple a day. Keep these androids away.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, listeners. All the best.